lots of thoughts trying to come out at the same time. But,
Keir Starmer and Trump's heated call, trade talks, tariffs, and what it means for the UK economy. Watch till the end of the video where we shall discuss this in further details.
And just to bring you some breaking news that we've just received here at Sky News, we've had a readout of a telephone call between the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, and the President of the United States, Donald Trump. It happened this afternoon, we are told. And the spokesperson for Downing Street has told us that the phone call has taken place. The leaders began by discussing the ongoing and productive discussions between the UK and US on trade. The Prime Minister reiterated his commitment to free and open trade and the importance of protecting the national interest. The leaders also discussed the situation in Ukraine, Iran, and the recent action taken against the Houthis in Yemen. Of course, as we've been reporting here, the Houthis saying some 74 have been killed there. They have agreed to stay in touch. That is the readout from number 10 there after a phone call between Sir Keir Starmer and Donald Trump. As you can imagine, trade was top of the agenda when the two men spoke by phone this afternoon. They also discussed geopolitics, of course, the war in Ukraine, attempts to try and stop Iran getting a nuclear weapon by restarting talks with the Iranians, and of course the action taken by the US today, airstrikes killing 74 people according to the Houthis. Well, I'm pleased to say Rob Powell, our political correspondent, has hung around for us and joins us again after that breaking news. Rob, great to have you again. So a readout there from that phone call. Was this on the schedule? Did we know they were going to speak today?
Yeah, there have been some reports of a conversation coming up, but I think one thing that is perhaps pointedly not in that readout that's come from the UK side, that's come from Downing Street, is anything about the date of a state visit. Of course, Donald Trump in Oval Office comments mentioned that he believed that state visit would be going on in September. The UK side didn't really want to go anywhere near confirming that date. So you would imagine perhaps that practical arrangements around that whilst being handled in the background, you would have thought that something like that might have come up, but the way that these readouts tend to work is that they don't necessarily give you a blow-by-blow account of everything the two leaders discussed. Clearly the focus very much on trade as the UK sees it anyway, because I guess that is the big win, that is the big thing that the UK is trying to get out of the US. Some sort of carve out, yes, from those 10% reciprocal tariffs, but perhaps also from the 25% tariffs being placed on other imports as well. So a fairly brief readout from Downing Street.
Keir Starmer finally got a call with Donald Trump. I can only imagine the tension. One trying not to offend the most volatile man on earth, and the other wondering whether the UK even has the steel left to tax. According to number 10, the call was ongoing and productive. The political code for we didn't get yelled at and nobody hung up. Progress. Now let's talk about substance. Trump has slapped the UK with a 10% baseline tariff on all imports. And if that wasn't enough of a friendly gesture from our special relationship partner, he threw in a juicy 25% tax on our cars, steel and aluminium. Very America first and very Britain last one standing. But not to worry, guys, because Downing Street says Starmer stressed the importance of free and open trade while talking to a man who just nuked the concept of free trade with one executive order and a scowl. This isn't about ongoing productive negotiations. This is economic blackmail in pinstripes. Trump starts a tariff war, tanks global markets, and dangles a trade deal in front of us like it's Love Island recoupling ceremony, except instead of roses, we get a 25% on car exports. The stock market's all over the place. The S&P 500, the FTSE 100, the DAX, all dipped after Trump's tariff announcements. Meanwhile, the IMF downgraded its global growth forecasts, and the WTO is out here waving a giant red fucking flag, saying global trade will shrink. But sure, this is productive apparently. Now, the UK strategy is basically grovel like fuck. We're hoping to avoid tariffs by securing a deal, that's right. While Trump punches us in the economic face, we're politely asking if we can still come to his barbecue. This is what happens when your country has outsourced its entire trade strategy to vibes and phone calls. So Starmer's in a bind. He doesn't want to pick a fight with Trump, but he also has to look like he's standing up for Britain, which is hard when your country's economy is being treated like a clearance sale at a Florida strip mall. Free trade doesn't mean much when you're negotiating with someone who sees global diplomacy like an episode of The Apprentice. And if this is the new normal for the UK-US relations under Trump 2.0, buckle up because we're fucked. Let me know what you think. Is this a masterclass in diplomacy or just Britain being economically mugged in slow motion? subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the Facebook page, and I will see you next time.
Good day, sir!
You're still here? Well. This is what being right wing must taste like. If you want to subscribe to Just Jake, subscribe over there. And if you want to watch more videos from whatever the hell this is underneath it,